What's up guys, Phantom here back with episode 49 of my F1 2019 career mode as we were going to Circuit de Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix for round 6 of season 3. As you look here, we have repurchased our power upgrades that failed at Spain, and now we are the third best team on the grid as we are right behind McLaren, as us and McLaren have jumped Haas in the research department there, as our engines are becoming a little bit better as we will move on to the race.
We're here at the magical Circuit de Monaco for one of the most challenging qualifying sessions on the Formula One calendar. Who can add their name to the illustrious list of Monte Carlo pole sitters here today? And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
As we start out here in qualifying, we will start in Q1 because we have managed to not make it through, and we will start P20. We were dead last, as we will start last on the hardest track to overtake. So this will be a challenge as we move on to the race.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote. And don't expect to see much overtaking here today. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mercedes. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Sainz, Romain Grosjean and Verstappen, Butler, Leclerc, Norris and Lucas Faber, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat and Russell, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez, Giovinazzi and Oldtimer. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
As we sit here on the grid in P20 with a Renault to our right, I thought I'd never see the day, as we get off the line and we will automatically look to the inside of Giovinazzi and try to get a bunch of positions down to the inside. We get all the way to Kvyat and he just turns and cuts us off there, as we're going to go up the hill and hit the wall going up the hill as we battle with Hülkenberg, as there's not very much space here at Monaco, as we need every position we're going to get. And coming into the casino section, we hit the wall and then hit into Hülkenberg, who hits the wall, as we luckily do not have any damage, but Hülkenberg has lost an end plate, as we're going to sneak down the inside and think about a move on Russell here, but we'll kind of just push him around the corner here at the hairpin. As we move on to lap 3 here, we've kind of grown out patient with Russell, as we're just in a 2011 Lewis Hamilton down the inside and kind of just force our way through as we get a warning for contact with collision with him.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
As now we have lack of power here as we come to a replay where we just kind of barged him out of the way, but we are down on power.
There's a large group of slower cars just ahead. If you want to pit, we're close to a window. Understood, stopping this lap.
As we have made the decision to pit a lap earlier, as we are getting a little bit sick or tired of being held up by everybody here, including the Toro Rossos right ahead of us. So we will stop a lap earlier than everybody here, as we are in the pits now. As you can see, that bottom group of cars, Hulkenberg is holding everybody up with its damaged end plate, as we will come in and do a 2.15 second pit stop. As that group has finally gone past us, they're about 10 or 15 seconds down. As we come to the following lap here, as you can see, we've almost caught up to that group already, as Perez is in from last position. As we will come out and pass and see how many positions we get with the undercut, as Norris, and there's Weber, and Verstappen is also out of the race there, as we are slot between Weber and Norris, as we watch as Verstappen has lost his engine going up the hill, and crucially that's held up Raikkonen. Raikkonen has gotten held up there for about a second or two, so he will be slower into the pit stop and lose time as we come on to lap 8, where the rest of the people are making their pit stop, as we're basically pushing Weber around the corner there as we are coming down the front stretch. As we will see Raikkonen right here, so that incident with Verstappen's engine has cost him time, and we will pull him down the straight here as he's on new tires, so we are up into 8th place. Now on lap 12 here, you can see we've lost touch with Weber, as Raikkonen with his fully running engine will chase us down into the chicane, and this will happen every single lap. As we come on the lap 14th out of 20th, as we will make slight contact with a wall there, and we will actually lose our end plate, as you can see with Raikkonen. So not only will we be super slow on the straights, we now cannot turn as well in the corners. So we will be a sitting duck for Raikkonen coming out into the chicane here every single time. As we are coming into the tunnel, Raikkonen is normally about 3 to 5 tenths behind, but catches all the way back up to our gearbox every single time, as we have to cut the chicane there, the slow down. But coming on the lap 18, we actually go a little bit too deep into Portier, which will allow Raikkonen to be basically right on our gearbox, as he will get a very good run down into the chicane, as we have to go defensive. We have covered him off crucially, as coming on to lap 20, Hamilton has won the Monaco Grand Prix, but we have held on for dear life with 2 laps older tires versus Raikkonen. As we come into Larascas, we hit the back end and nearly spin out there, as we nearly just threw away a great performance from 20th to 8th, which is a very good performance.
Well, that's a disappointing result for sure, but we'll try to bounce back at the next one.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. Sebastian Vettel will be very happy with that result as he extends his championship lead. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Old Timer. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.